Hi, I'm Neil Rogers with Velo News TV. I'm joined today with Rory Sutherland of HealthNet Maxis. Rory, thanks for coming down.
No problem.
We met for the first time at the team camp back at, I think, end of January, early February. And I was a little bit surprised to see that you're kind of a bigger guy. You know, what are you, 6'3"?
6'2".
6'2". I mean, it's not a giant guy, but you put you next to a guy like Paolo Bettini and you look like you're two different species almost.
It is a little bit different, yeah.
So this is your first year racing in the States. You know, you've raced over in Australia, you've raced over in Europe. I guess the most obvious question would be, what are your impressions of the American peloton and the style of racing over here?
You know, it is different. It's different than... It's one of those things that's hard to... Anywhere you go and anywhere you race, it's pretty difficult to figure out before you get there what it's going to be like. You take what everybody says to you and you take their advice, and you hear so many different stories from different people on different teams, and you've got to kind of draw your own conclusions and then kind of wait till you get here and see what's going on. Happy to say it's a pleasant surprise. Well, not that I didn't think it was going to be a good place to live and you know, good racing, but it's really, it seems to be it's still at the kind of fun level, fun but professional level, whereas, you know, Europe is, it's something that you have to do as a bike rider, I think, but it's something that is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and the amount you have to put into it is more than anything that I've ever had to put into anything before in my life. So it is definitely a difference between the two, and a large difference at that, but that's not necessarily saying that it is better or worse. It's just a different kind of racing, different kind of scene.
Is it fair to say that there's a little bit more of a fun kind of camaraderie between the riders here? I mean, where in Europe it maybe, I don't know, maybe a little more cutthroat. I know that they say in the States at any given race there's 10 or 12 guys that can win, and in Europe at any given race almost everyone in the peloton can win. So maybe that makes it a little more tense.
It doesn't. It doesn't. That's a really good way to to put it as well. That's the thing that I always tell people that ask me what it's like. It's like that in Europe you've got 200 guys in a bike race, and 120 of them can win the race. And in America you've got 150 guys in a bike race, and there's 20 guys that can win the race. So it changes the dynamics of racing as well. But it's definitely, I don't know. It is a pretty hard thing to explain, I guess, how it all relates to each other. But it's kind of like the US is. It seems like it's a lot more friends racing together.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit more of that relaxed way. And in saying that, it's not saying that it's non-professional and that it's not serious. It's just, you know, everyone speaks the same language for one, which is a huge advantage in comparison to Europe.
Yeah.
And all of us living in Boulder anyway, which we just talked about, is quite a lot of guys at the moment. You know, we're all friends on and off the bike as well, which does. It definitely changes the way that races are raced.
Does it?
It's a bit more fun and relaxed, as opposed to the high stress day in, day out of Europe.
I want to ask you about that, because I've always wondered what it's like to race against the guys that you train with and go out for beers with and maybe even live with. But first, let's, since everyone watching wasn't privy to our conversation, there's been a mass influx of professional cyclists in Boulder. I mean, Boulder's always been a mecca, but just in the last year or two, just off the top of your head, who are some of the guys, who are you living with, who are some of the guys that you ride with here, and who are some of the guys you were telling me that are coming?
Yeah, at the moment I'm living with, well, when the guys kind of get here and we're all here at the same time, there's a friend of mine, James Meadley, rides for Jelly Belly from Australia, and Russell Downing's living with me just down the road from here.
And he rides for HealthNet.
He rides for HealthNet, and then there's, the HealthNet contingency at the moment.
Carl Menzies, Tim Johnson,
Sean Milnes here, Frank Pipp. I think that's all we've got from our guys. Then you've got, I think, 7 to 10 Toyota United guys now.
Right.
Living either in Boulder or, a couple of the guys are down south.
Hank Vogels is here. Ivan Stevic, you said, is coming.
Stevic's is coming. Sullivan's coming.
I think Mark Scanlon's going to make it out here. Heath Blackgrove.
I don't know. Whenever Scanlon decides to race, then we might see him in the country. But apart from that, there's a lot of other teams and a lot of other guys that are here as well that I don't even I don't really know. Obviously Monager and the BMC guys as well. Sure. But it's just. Yeah, I was a bit taken back to see how many guys are out there training. Like the last few days we've had, the last two days we've had 5 HealthNet guys training together. Yeah. Like when I lived in the south of Holland on the border of Belgium, it was, we had maybe 13 pros from Rabo within like a 10-kilometre radius, and you'd only ever see maybe 3 together, and we had like as many people as we had in Boulder out yesterday.
Yeah.
From HealthNet training together, and it makes it a lot more enjoyable.
Well, that's the HealthNet guys, but obviously you must ride sometimes with the Toyota United guys as well, maybe Ben Day from Navigators.
Ben's here as well, yeah.
Yeah, so you're out riding with these guys. Is there a little bit of, hey, you're listening to see who's breathing hard, or you're sizing up who's body language, and then come the weekend, hey, I was out on the other day, I was riding with Ben Day, he's in bad shape right now. None of that?
Not at all. It's kind of like, there is definitely, I think we know that there's a division between racing and training, and there's no real point having that tension within training as well. Like that's another one of the beautiful things about America, that the riders are such friendly people that you can talk to anybody in the peloton, and there's no real aggro.
Yeah.
Well, from what I've seen anyway. But it's like everybody talks to each other, and everyone's pretty pleasant, and it's not just because to save face or to attempt to be nice guys. It really is a good group of guys, and especially the guys living here.